Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast, season 11, episode, God, I don't know, 14?
14. I really thought this was the finale, and that's why I was so confused last episode how we could just pop a finale here, but we got one more.
One more. I didn't get on the finale of Vanderpump Rules, did you?
I did, but it was just the same stuff from the mid-season trailer that we saw.
How rude of Bravo to cut me
With
off.
like Ariana walking away from Tom,
Oh, so we already know what happens. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so warning, that probably won't be at the end of the episode. You know what's going to happen. But before we get into the episode, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, which is also a Winter House podcast, and a Summer House Martha's Vineyard podcast. And we have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Meredith, we have a new review.
My God, we're getting so many reviews lately. This just sparks joy.
The last review was, don't know how you top it, but... This one is 5 stars, so that's how you top it.
Okay, good.
And it's from J. Sophia's, and it's titled Shocked. And it says, I'm honestly shocked there aren't more reviews for this podcast. This is by far my favorite reality TV podcast. I could listen to you guys talk about anything. Thank you so much. We actually will talk about literally anything. So,
yeah. Yes, we will.
Thank you so much for your nice, kind words. We love you.
Thank you.
Okay, so what else? Do this thing. Rate, review, subscribe. We're almost done with the season, so now is the time. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Vanderpasta. Meredith's really putting in the work. Go see what she's doing.
It's my pride and joy lately. It just brings me so much joy to all the funny things I think in my head. I'm just putting on there. So if other people don't find it funny, no worries. Just that's what's in my brain lately.
She's doing it. And then join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows where Meredith and I and sometimes Sarah talk about whatever the hell we want. And then also you get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we go back and we watch old seasons, we'll do a Bravo after show, but this is now a live season, so we're not doing those right now. And also, I'll say or attempt to say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Allie, Ashton, Chris, Darby, Dee, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Jennifer, Kirsten, Casey, Kelsey, Kirby, Chrissy, Lady Swamp, which, sorry, you added stuff to your name, so I got nervous.
I saw that recently.
Lauren, Lindsay with an I, Lindsay with a Y, Robin, Sammy, Sarah L, Sarah R, Tierney, Tonette, Tracy, Allie, Anne, Emily, Gina, Isabella, Leanne, Lisa, Nina, Taylor, and Tara.
Woohoo!
Wow, our list has grown and changed.
It's fun. This is the best era of Patreon we've ever had.
Oh my God, the best era.
Mm-hmm.
We're in our Patreon era.
With our podcasts on every aspect, every level.
Literally, this is my whole fucking dream. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so thank you for being a part of our Patreon. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, during live seasons, which is now. If you want to give us your thoughts, now's the time, because I post for live seasons for your thoughts. We read them on the podcast. Mm-hmm. This is now. And also I'll pick a patron of the episode, which obviously I thought about doing and then didn't, and then probably should have. And then now we're here. So apologies so bad, but let me just make sure. I don't know, Meredith, you want to tell me when to stop?
Stop.
Okay. Well, I didn't get very far, but it's Ashton.
Woo, Ashton. You can't say stop and then not be ready.
Well, I thought you were going to make me wait for a little bit.
Never.
Ashton. So
like we said on the pre-show, we are all in your face all the time.
Oh, if you're sad and you want me to pick you before the season's up, just message me. I'll do it. I have a list, but I don't look at the list. Just
you're asking them to be like a pick-me.
That's fine. Sheena's a pick-me. I love Sheena, so it happens. Okay, great. So What am I doing? What's next?
You're telling us, oh, you're giving us thoughts from last episode.
Oh, right. There were some thoughts from last episodes I really wanted to read because people were late, and I think I should include them. It's not your fault you're late. Sometimes I post late. You get it. Anyway, so before we get into this episode, Tracy says, unfortunately, Jax was right, at least about Lisa being a prop. He was definitely wrong about Katie. Katie didn't bring her A game to the argument, which was unfortunate. I would have loved to see her rip him a new one, but she just slapped him around. I know. She has so much power, and when she doesn't use it, I'm sad a little.
I know, but like not engaging with him sometimes
is better.
Like hurts him more.
I know.
Like she made him look like an idiot, and I appreciated that.
Tracy says Sheena is allowed to go off on Sandoval, but Ariana isn't. Where's Lala telling her to get over it? Agreed. I understand where James is coming from with Hippie. He's known to bite, and you don't want to risk him biting someone and dealing with the repercussions. If you really cared, someone would have offered to watch him. That's what we were saying about the Hippie thing. Tom refusing to take responsibility is just exhausting. Comparing his situation to Sheena's choices 10 years ago is bullshit, and it wasn't the same. She didn't know about the marriage in the beginning, and definitely wasn't friends with Brandy beforehand. Also, Sheena was in her early 20s and Tom is in his 40s. I'm not excusing the actions, but when you're young, you make stupid mistakes. Tom is a grown-ass man. Yep. Yeah, it's not the fucking same. Tracy also says, I saw a post on Reddit that Ariana seemed more relaxed this episode. It might be because of Rachel's podcast. It was the final nail in the coffin that she wasn't coming back to the season, and Ariana wouldn't have to interact with her. Sigh of relief. Oh, probably.
I think also they had a blow up, on the beach. And so there was bound to be one. And so that being behind her too probably also helped her relax along with the final nail in the coffin of Rachel Raquel.
And then Chrissy said basically that she agreed with everything, but Katie and Tom having a friendship is her favorite thing ever. Chrissy says, I hope he doesn't fuck it up. And he's probably going to fuck it up. But I can't wait to see what happens.
On Watch What Happens Live after this episode that like what we're seeing is really what held their marriage together for a lot longer than it probably should have. And that they're in a decent place. Like for the show, like I think this is really fun for them. I don't think they're like very close friends by any means, but
no, but they have to see each other for the dogs, so I'm sure they just do like a quick hello. It's just easier that way. And I think Katie says it in this episode where she's like, one day Tom's going to wake up and realize I'm the one who got away. And I think that's true. And I think Katie has done her healing and Tom will do his healing, but he's not like there yet. So I think currently there's nothing uncomfortable happening.
I think it'll slowly settle in for him because I think he's slowly missing her like on the friendship level. And like you can slowly see him wanting what they used to have, like pieces of it.
I mean, he asked her for sex.
Yeah. Well,
he misses her so much.
Even asked her to lay down and watch TikToks together silently. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into this episode. So previously on Vanderpump Rules, Sandoval wants to be roomies with Schwartz. I almost called him Schwartz. We're going to San Francisco for Kyle Chen. The whole group is going. Schwartz is embarrassed by Jo. Sheena wrote a song about Sandoval. Sandoval compared his situation to Sheena being the other woman. Great. Ugh. Okay, so we go to something about her with our new employee, Anne. Who gets her title changed from Tom's assistant to something about her employee. And I wonder if this was a bit for the show, but they did talk about it on Watch What Happens Live.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't really... They touched on it, but they didn't really confirm anything. Like Anne has not been working there since the show, so I think this was a bit for the show. And I wonder if she will be a full-time employee once it does open. So we'll see on May 22nd.
We'll see what happens. So Ariana and Katie thought something about her would be open by now. They are currently in this timeline, in the show timeline, one day behind schedule. In real life, they're about a year behind schedule.
I don't understand why it's so complex. I've never owned a restaurant, so like tell me what I'm missing.
I know nothing, but
I don't think it should take this long. Like, I don't get why you're not consulting like the experts like Lisa. Like, Lisa gives, some idea. I don't know. I just don't think it would be that, not, I don't use the word difficult, but like that complex to be able to find out what you need to do it, and do it on schedule. Like, why would it take 2 years to open a
Well,
sandwich shop?
you also have Lisa who's telling you what you need.
Yeah, like she's like, oh yeah, you're gonna put stuff on rollers like for the fridge. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That stuff you could ask Lisa before you even started this journey.
Yeah. So there's code violations. We had to take down the patio. At this point, they have no idea when it will open. But as Meredith said, when is it? May 22nd?
May 22nd, they announced on Watch What Happens Live, but that had been released prior.
There we go. So it's going to open. We can finally do our LA trip to get a fucking sandwich.
That's a thing. I'm like so pissed off about the sandwich place not opening. And then I realized, because I was like thinking about like posting some videos the day of that it opens. And I was like, but it's not like I'm going to get handed a sandwich. I'm like, I get nothing for this place finally being open because I don't live near it. Like, I have so much like frustration, and I get nothing on May 22nd.
We wanted to do an LA trip, but we were like, we have to wait for this to be open.
I know.
But in the process, we lost Pump.
Yep.
So,
but like, it's Pump Garden now next to Tom Tom, so we can get a little bit,
I guess. Okay, so Lisa's here. She re-meets Anne, but not as Tom's assistant.
Do I know you?
So awkward. Technically, they didn't steal Anne, but it doesn't not feel good to take something from Sandoval. You know what I mean?
True.
So Lisa sits with Ariana and Katie and is like, hey, when are you opening? And also, what happened to fucking Penny? And Ariana and Katie aren't speaking to Penny. And I was like, we just saw Penny on an episode.
I was like, whoa, because I don't think, did you know this in like today's world, like actual reality?
No.
I had no idea Penny wasn't involved. I knew there was some weirdness because Penny's company has like saved the rights to something about her, or like there was something legally. So people are like, wow, like Katie and Ariana don't even own something about her anymore. But I wonder if Penny was doing that like maliciously. Like, I'm going to try and like do all this behind your back since like we can't come to an agreement.
Basically, here's what happened. Penny proposed. So Penny was hired on as an employee, not a partner.
Yes.
So she was going to get paid a salary.
Yes.
Penny wanted, obviously, to be a partner. She helped out a lot. I'll give her that. So she proposed a salary and
like a revenue share.
Or she wanted like ownership, like share. They said no. Ariana and Katie were obviously like, absolutely not. We're going to be co-owners. And so they offered 10% to Penny of the profits at this location, which I was like, are we franchising then? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that was smart of them, because if they do open a second, then they're not like linked to having to give Penny money forever.
So they said really at this location. And Penny's like, no. So now they're like, well, sorry about it, Penny. And Lisa's like, this sucks because I really love Penny. And I was like, all right.
Well, you don't love Penny enough to keep her on your staff.
Yeah, go give Penny a job.
Listen,
you live in a mansion.
I think Penny is wonderful, and I think she did her job. She's very
knowledgeable.
But that doesn't give you rights to like ownership just because like you're working on this project.
I mean, look at Greg. They're doing 3-part ownership over there.
Yeah, but Greg was in from the ground floor.
Yeah, that's true.
Greg put in money to this business.
That's also true. Did Penny put in money?
There's no way Penny put in money, because then that would give her ownership.
You know what? Sorry, Penny.
Sorry, your ideas don't just get you ownership.
You had amazing sandwiches, though, and I wonder if the sandwiches will still be there.
Well, and by we, I mean Katie and Ariana, paid her for her work. She was salaried. She didn't get gypped on anything.
That's true. Did she own the sandwiches? The Greek goddess?
Yeah, I don't think you can really own a sandwich. Like, a meatball sub is on every menu.
We don't know. Anyway, so goodbye, Penny, forever. Okay, then we go to Kyle Chen's jewelry store.
This is the most insane storyline, is like Kyle throwing this party. I will not get over this.
I hate Kyle being a cast member. Like,
he's not a cast member. He's a friend of, let's be honest, but
more than I hate Jo being basically a cast member.
Jo makes more sense to me.
Could we get Kyle Chen fucking out of here, you know? So Sheena's here. She's going to perform her songs. Sandoval's here. Also, he didn't pull hard enough on the door, so he almost didn't make it in. So Sandoval and Sheena are obviously on bad terms because the last time they saw each other, Sandoval yelled at Sheena for being the other woman. Mm-hmm. Kyle Chen, though, has hired Sandoval as a free manager of some sorts to handle the event, basically, for no money.
Okay, that makes sense, though. Like, if this is just one stupid event for Vanderpump Rules.
Well, also, Sandoval cries because Kyle Chen's been such a good friend to him that he'll do this gladly.
Alicia, I can promise you something. If I ask you for a favor, I won't cry out of just pure happiness that you like show up and help me.
Also, if it's free, I'm putting in like free effort, you know? I'm going to do it for you because I love you. But Sandoval's got like guys coming. And I was like, I'm not making calls.
This is this is too much. The production of Sheena singing at Kyle's fake event is too much for me.
I thought Kyle was going to ask Sandoval to perform with Sheena. So I really thought that's where this was going. Mm-hmm. When he was like, so Sandoval has a lot of experience with this stuff. And I was like, oh, a duet?
I would have liked that more. Would have loved that even more.
I would just love to see how it happened, you know?
I just think, I think it would be so funny to watch it, like that so performance. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kyle, Sheena, and Sandoval sit down to talk. Kyle's very concerned about what happened at the pool party. And this is where Sandoval, per usual, does terrible, terrible things and then just apologizes for it, like half-heartedly, and he gets forgiven.
It's not like I called you like a mean name and called Sheena annoying. Like, that's something you could just apologize for and move on. Maybe you shouldn't apologize or like move on so quickly because that is kind of mean from like one of your friends who's trying to be your friend again. But you said some terrible things.
Yeah, you said I was the other woman.
And compared her cheating to your cheating, which was like earth-shattering, destroying this entire world moment.
Yeah, rough. So, Sheena just says, they because her and Sandoval were on good terms, that's why she wasn't going to put the song out.
Oh my God.
But the song's not for him. It's obviously for Raquel. And so Sandoval says he's just frustrated. So she's like, I apologized the other day for the song, and I'll never forget what a good friend you've been to me. And that's what's made this so hard.
She said, I will never forget what a good friend you've always been to me.
Always been to
How
me.
can you use the word always when that man was screaming in your face last night, throwing your cheating from like 10 plus years ago in your face? That's not always being a good friend.
It made it hard because she had to choose a side and Ariana didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, choose a side? You should just automatically be.
You've never chosen a side.
There are no sides because there's clearly also just one place you go, and that's Ariana's. Like,
yeah, there is in no world where, like, let's say you started dating one of my friends here and then like they horrifically cheated on you. There is no way I could stay friends with the person who did the cheating. Like, I don't care how long I've been friends with somebody. If you do something of that magnitude, no, I don't trust you.
But also add in that they've lied to you and hurt you and yelled at you too. So,
and corroborated that a fake story that you assaulted another person.
Yeah. So, and then
blocked
could ruin your life.
And Summer Moon.
Yeah. Keep me away from Summer Moon. See how far that fucking gets you, you know? So Sandoval doesn't understand why there has to be a line in the sand because relationships never end well. And he just feels so alienated. This man lives in a different galaxy.
In Lala Land.
He doesn't. Who's his therapist?
No, there's no way he has one.
Fire him.
This isn't like James and Raquel's breakup where they're like mutually announced it at the reunion. Like, there were no real sides taken in that. Like, not because of the breakup, for other reasons.
They just broke up.
Yeah.
They weren't going to make it work.
Yeah.
This is literally like...
You cracked the earth in half with this scandal.
Of course you're going to feel fucking alienated. You did this.
Mm-hmm.
You alienated everyone in your life to have this affair. And then the affair came out and now they're alienating alienating you.
Yeah. And you're like,
and
wow, I can't believe people are doing this to me.
So then Kyle is like, hey, you don't have to forgive Sandoval, but you don't have to torture him. And I was like, yeah, we do.
Okay, I understand that. Like, listen, at some point this needs to die down a little bit. Like in their world, like they were 3 months after it. And it has died down. Well, Sandoval has inflamed it every single time. But we do not need to attack this man every single day that we live for the rest of our lives. But that's not what's happening. Like, nobody was attacking Sandoval. So, like, Kyle, what? They've gone above and beyond to not attack him.
All Sheena did was write a stupid-ass song about how you went from, like, a Ferrari to a Jetta.
Like, come on.
Like, you could do better. Like, that is the whole fucking line. Like, you're fine. And then the whole song is literally how you hurt her. Like, she's not actually it's just like, I thought you were a better friend to me.
Let's be real. This is not hitting #1 on the charts. Like, this really isn't going to go anywhere after a year.
Literally, it's been out for a year and I'm just hearing about it. Calm down.
Sheena's first song, Good as Gold, I've maybe heard 20 times in my lifetime.
Yeah, and that's a banger. Yeah. So, calm down.
You can rest easy
anyway. So Sheena's like, okay, we don't have to throw each other's pasts in our faces, but Sheena wishes the best for him and she misses him and he misses her too. And great. So then we go to Lala's apartment. Katie's here. It's Lala's birthday. Lala hopes Sandoval doesn't think he's invited. So she decides she's going to call him and let him know, which fucking crap. I love the shtick of, I have to uninvite you to something you're not even invited to.
I was so confused by this because I thought she said I need to make sure he now knows he's uninvited, as if he was invited prior. So the call made sense to me at first. But the longer the episode went on and then into the Watch What Happens Live, I learned he was never invited in the first place. So why was this call needed?
This was honestly, it could, if you had invited him and now you needed to uninvite him, yes, a call. Sense. But if he wasn't invited to begin with, you could just send a text and be like, hey, sorry to really bring this up, but please don't come to my birthday tonight.
I don't think you need to send a text at all. If he was never invited, why would he show up?
I don't know. What fucking
He
Schwartz?
Says on this call that we end up
text
having.
Schwartz and just be like, Sandoval's not invited. Don't
like just him. Making sure Sandoval is not coming tonight. Yeah, fact checked it through Schwartz first.
Whatever. My favorite was that Lala said she was going to make sure he's not invited. And Katie goes, could you put it on speaker?
I love Katie.
My God.
I love listening to other people's conversation. I hate whenever they go, and Meredith's here. I'm like, no. I don't want to actually be a participant.
I just want to know. But also, Katie probably hates him so much. She's like, oh, he's going to get his feelings hurt. Put it on speaker.
Which, like, you're on a show. Every phone call's on, like, speaker. But Katie, like, wanted to guarantee that thing was on speaker.
Katie's also like, you can tell him I'm here because that'll scare him, you know? So anyway, Sandoval's there at Kyle Chen's jewelry store with Sheena. And everyone's like, oh no, Sheena, God. What are you doing with him? And Sandoval's like, yeah, me and Sheena, we're like that pottery that breaks and then is put together back with glue.
Alicia.
And Lala's like, no, that's amazing, but not at my birthday party.
And people are wondering why Sheena is a bad friend. If Sandoval thinks you guys are a remade pottery out of gold and it's something beautiful again, how does he have that impression?
Listen, I cannot defend Sheena. I cannot. I want to. I think she's stupid. I can't.
And this is
she's useless.
12 hours after he just screamed in your face too. Like, that's what's telling.
You know what? Being a mother made Sheena soft.
No. And don't even blame it on Summer Moon. Don't do that to Summer Moon.
The hard-o child.
Don't you
All of Sheena's backbone went into Summer Moon, and then Summer Moon grew her own
hopefully,
too.
I was about to say, hopefully Brock gave her some backbone because...
No, she's a fucking hulks, that Summer Moon.
Sheena never had a backbone.
I mean...
Before, after, anything. Don't blame that on Summer Moon. Don't you dare. I'm on Summer Moon... Like, I am her biggest fan now after this season.
No, I love Summer Moon.
I know.
I'm just saying Sheena could learn a thing or two.
Sheena could, yeah, from Summer, absolutely.
From Summer Moon. Anyway, Sandoval confirms he's not going to Lala's birthday because he wasn't invited. And Lala's like, amazing. See you in San Francisco. It's like a weird conversation.
The thing is like, why am I on Sandoval's side on that phone call? Like, that was the weirdest thing. He's like, no, I wasn't invited. I'm like, yeah, no, makes sense.
That phone call, I was Team Katie. Just put it on speaker so he's mad.
It was a different Sandoval. Like, he was logical, rational, he understood.
But like 2 seconds ago, he wasn't, which it was just,
true.
He knew Katie was on speaker and he's like, logic only, please. Katie will kill me. So now we're at Lala's birthday. I just want to say, Katie looks so hot. I was like, no. Okay.
Also,
anyway.
her and Lala arrived together. I'm like, okay, so you guys are friends or aren't?
Friendship.
Like, I don't get this status because Lala keeps making it seem like they're not friends.
They weren't friends. But you don't show up at your birthday party with not your friend.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But she is turning 33. And you know what? Jesus died at 33. So I'm going to use that. When I tell you, I went, oh, I can't wait to turn 33.
Okay. Here's the thing, though. I feel like Lala's going to say that she was like nailed to a cross like with people. Like,
stop.
That's the first thing I thought of is she's like crying on her little Amazon lives about, she goes on and she says like, oh, I don't listen to comments or I don't read comments. I don't do anything. And then she's crying on her Amazon live about how like people are so mean online. And I'm like, I thought you weren't reading.
Like, sorry, Lauren from Utah, but get fucked, honestly. That's just my 2 cents.
I'm so annoyed with her that in real world, that anything she does on this show, I absolutely despise.
I kind of agree. She's like not my favorite person, obviously. Mm-hmm. So Lala feels that every year she becomes more and more badass. For this year, she wishes to rule the world, have a positive pregnancy test, and win a custody battle. Adult wishes, if you ask me.
Also,
crazy.
This is not going to be your best year yet. Like, we know where you are now.
Let me tell you, at 33, I'm hopefully not going to be wishing for a positive pregnancy test or in a custody battle of any sorts. So
yeah, that is not my dream 33 year.
But we'll see where the world takes me, you know? Okay, Schwartz is also here too. He's late, but we're at a burlesque show. We get burlesque dancers. It's very lovely. Brock doesn't know where to look during these dances because he was actually raised in the Mormon church, which I did not know about him.
I was like, you drop this now? Brock, there are moments where I'm absolutely obsessed with you. And this is one of them.
He was a dairy farmer and part of the Mormon church. I just have so many questions.
Okay, is he from New Zealand or Australia?
Well, I'm going to guess, and I think it's Australia.
Okay, either way, one thing I know about Australia is it's not like super religious like the United States is. So I am even more intrigued by this man being Mormon in Australia.
So I don't know a lot about the Mormon church. My knowledge goes to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. He says he's very uncomfortable with women dancing around him. Are Mormons like footloose? No dancing allowed, or?
Oh, I mean, they are like half naked. So I think that it's more the nakedness.
It's the nudity.
But I also think, my interpretation, not sure if this is the rule of law, but it just seems like a lot of Mormon law is like anything fun we don't like. You know, no soda, no coffee, no alcohol, no dancing would be in line with that.
We could literally never be Mormon. Thank God we were in the Catholic Church.
Never even live in Utah because the laws are so like Mormon coded. You are not allowed to have, if like you can't pre-order a drink. You know, if you're drinking a cocktail and like you're like, oh, give me another because I'm going to be done with this. They have to take the drink away before they ever bring you another one. Like you cannot have 2 drinks on the table for one person. Alcoholic drinks.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I love to pre-order. People take forever in the service industry, and no shade at that because like you're understaffed. But let me fucking pre-order then.
Okay, well, I have a lot of questions for Brock. If he could do just like one interview without Sheena, so we could really focus on him, that would be
I
great.
forgot to watch the
And
after show. I wonder if they touched on this. I'm gonna run and watch the after show after this.
I know I didn't watch it either. It's okay. So Sandoval has a show tomorrow, and Schwartz is trying to encourage everyone to go see him.
No thanks.
It's fine. So then Lala asked Sheena why she was with Sandoval today, and Sheena shares that she was with Sandoval for Kyle Chen's thing. But when they were together, he apologized. And Sheena said that they just miss each other and they want to move forward. And Lala's like, yeah, like coexist in peace. And Ariana says, pathetic, because she feels like she's being gaslit.
Yeah.
Like what happened is not clear as day. It has nothing to do with Ariana. It has to do with Sandoval not actually caring about Sheena.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps treating her like shit. And we all see it. And Sheena's still like, she's got amnesia or something.
It's even wilder to see it last night. He screamed at you, and within 12 hours, like I said, you are back being his best friend.
In front of the whole group. Like, we all fucking saw it. It's so embarrassing that you're friends with him again. I
wonder if Sheena just really enjoys being treated like shit.
I mean,
like, listen, you're like conditioned into like liking chaos sometimes. Maybe she loves it.
I feel like I'd like to say no, but who knows? But also, I think she just really like, she's one of those people that once you're her friend, she'll never stop fighting for you, which is crazy because if you're not losing friends, you're not living life. Like, come on.
Yeah,
you gotta cut some people out. Not everyone from when you're 21 is going to be the greatest person
it's ever. Like having strainers all throughout life, and like as you grow up the like holes get smaller and smaller, so like not or larger and larger, so not everybody can fit in. I only want like 3 friends these days.
I mean 2 because I'm one of them. So pick 2 others and be done with it.
No, I know. I literally was on the phone with my coworker friend and I was like, yeah, I have like 5 friends. And I was like, not including you though. Like you're just in a separate bucket of my life.
Yeah, for sure. So then we go to Sheena and Brock's apartment. They're packing because San Francisco is chilly. And let me tell you, I fucking went to San Francisco with shorts in my bag thinking I'm going to California. And I was fucking cold. And
you know what? Know it was this cold.
It is fucking freezing.
Damn.
Meredith. We are going to get to when they're actually in San Francisco, and I'm going to tell you so many things about what I hate about San Francisco.
One thing I do know about California temperatures is they don't have a lot of humidity. So, like, our temperatures, whenever we're like, oh, that's not cold, it's just so different.
Oh. But also, listen, I didn't know California has a thing called Gray May, where the sun doesn't come out.
Oh, yeah. And
that's terrible.
June.
Yeah, it's also so cold. San Francisco is always windy. The worst part is I used to romanticize San Francisco. It was like my dream place. I visited once and I went, who the fuck would live here? Like I was so mad about it. I know. I'm really terrible. I think it's just because I went during Gray May and I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think we grew up with like Full House being in San Francisco,
where it was always sunny. San Francisco.
So yeah, I just think we
filmed in LA, Meredith.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Anyway, so they're packing. Brock's never been to San Francisco, so he's excited. Brock and Sheena also are going to plan some fun things separately. Also, Summer Moon is all set with Erica for 4 days while they're gone. And then Brock is like, and while we don't have Summer Moon, I'm going to throw a 20s party. And also we're going to try Rice-A-Roni. So you know what that is.
I was so confused.
What is Rice-A-Roni? That's not like a staple, is it?
You've never had Rice-A-Roni?
Fuck is it?
Oh,
is it like
my
ramen?
God. No, I mean, it's just like like how Hamburger Helper was huge whenever we were going on. Just like a meal packet.
It's just that.
It's just a rice.
I know Rice-A-Roni in the red box.
I was gonna say, if you've never had Rice-A-Roni being from the Midwest, I'm pissed. I used to eat these before I would go out in college, like the little microwave packs.
Oh yeah. I've had Rice-A-Roni.
My mouth's watering just talking about Rice-A-Roni.
Oh, I like Rice-A-Roni.
One of my favorite sides.
Who needs to try Rice-A-Roni though?
And why? Because we're going to San Francisco. I meant to look up like. Was it created in San Francisco?
Is this a big thing for Sheena living in? in California her
I
whole
love
life.
rice-a-roni. Don't get me wrong, but like, why do we need to do this on this trip?
Who knows? Anyway, so then we go on a date with Ariana and Daniel.
I'm so excited to meet him. Again, I was worried that this was the like finale and we were just throwing him out there. And I was like, we haven't met him yet except on FaceTime.
Daniel is very effortlessly suave.
He
just one-handed pulls out Ariana's chair, doesn't even wait for her to sit down, just like keeps walking, but like it's nice. I don't know,
he's so
suaveness.
Yeah, at ease in his like body and his body language. Like he's not like tense because he's on camera, which like I would assume like somebody who's never done this kind of would. He's great.
He's like so sure of himself, but in a way that's not like overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something weird. Anyway, so the distance in their relationship forces them to take things slow and really get to know each other. Also, because they travel back and forth to see each other so much, tomorrow is going to be the first day they travel together for the first time.
That's so cute.
Makes or breaks a relationship, if you ask me.
That's true. I really give it to Ariana. There's a lot of like shade online about her getting in a relationship, quote unquote, 10 days after like her and Sandoval broke up, which
they met 10 days after.
Like the timeline is really clarified and stuff, but because it's long distance and because of the way she described it, where it's like a slow burn, I don't think that this is as concerning as some people online are making it.
Also, listen, Dan seems very sure of himself. He's also 40. He's not going to waste his days with a girl who's like...
Well, a different 40-year-old did.
Well...
Let's not use age as the reason.
Dan just seems different, you know?
I agree. I think Dan is a 40-year-old who is not going to waste someone's time, but just being 40 years old.
But I don't think he would waste his own time on someone who's not ready to be in a relationship with him.
I agree.
Like, I think also, it's not like Ariana showed up at this wedding, met him, and then didn't tell him anything that happened. One quick Google search, he could find out the fucking life of her.
I know.
So, like,
I feel like, and once that's dropped on you, I feel like they would work through that and discuss a lot of it before they ever even started dating. Because it's like, hey, wow, this is really traumatic for you, I bet.
And I bet they talked about that all the time. And when you're long distance, you have nothing else to do but talk and like get to know each other.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. Okay, so whatever. I love Dan. So he learned Sandoval is going to be in San Francisco. He's good on Sandoval. He's 40 years old and confident. He doesn't need to do this bullshit, you know?
I agree, Dan. Let's just not do this, dog and pony show.
Dan's also got clients, okay? He works many jobs. It's hard for him to travel. He's not going to fuck up his life dealing with fucking Sandoval, you know?
No, not worth it.
Ariana brings up, Dan may be moving to LA and he's not completely convinced. And we've known this before. We've talked about this before, but Dan is a native New Yorker. So Ariana is basically like, when the winter hits in New York, you're going to wish you were in LA. And Dan's like, or we could just be in like Europe or something. I was like, oh my God. We moving to Europe?
Well, I mean, this summer we're going to Fiji because Ariana's hosting Love Island.
Is that where Love Island is?
So, like, will Dan be there for a little bit?
He's got work. See, that's also what I like about Dan is he's like, I'm not just going to follow you. I got my little my business.
You know what? My dream is Ariana and Dan, New York, on Summer House.
Or whatever the equivalent to I think Summer House should grow into, where we actually watch them just live their lives in New York.
Summer House's version of like the Valley.
Like city life.
The city
suburb life. The city with Whitney Port, you know?
Well, that was MTV's show, so like, can you reuse the name?
Can you reuse it? So then we go to Tom Sandoval in the most extra show. The trumpet is back, and let me tell you, it does not sound any better than it did.
I'm so happy you said that because that was my initial thought. I thought we were never going to do this again. I thought we were over it.
That we learned from our mistakes. Anyway, guess who's here? Sandoval's mom that he robbed.
I also thought, how embarrassing. I cannot believe this woman is showing her face when her son has played in her face so much. Also, that woman met Rachel and said nothing.
I know she's a villain. She should go home. But also, how do you support your son doing this when he has no money to live in his house, let alone pay you back for your fucking retirement, Terry?
I don't care about you supporting your son in like a mom to
No.
son relationship. How do you come on this show is my question. And
I don't
publicly
know, but
support
like
him like
he
this.
stole her money and all he's doing is dancing with his friends and a trumpet. Like I'd be pissed if I'm the mom.
Do you think his mom believes all the like tall tales he tells?
Listen, I hate to say this. But I also don't. So I'm just going to say it. Sandoval needed to learn to be manipulative somewhere.
Mm.
I mean, but also things
But it's hard to
that
have
we
two
don't know.
narcissistic people in the same family. I think she enabled
I think she created him.
him,
Yeah.
the monster. Okay, not that she
Yeah.
like she did it all and then he just copied and
Well, like,
pasted.
yeah, even when you see, like, we know monster people, like, in our real lives, their parents encourage it, their parents support it, their parents
Mm-hmm.
don't set healthy boundaries or punish their children, and
Yeah,
then they become totally terrible people and think they can do whatever they want and have no consequences. Like, I know people like that.
yeah.
So, like, listen, all kids are a product of their environment, and
Mm-hmm.
that is your parents.
And they're not
So,
just gonna grow out of things.
so it's like who you surround yourself with. I don't know, Terry. I judge.
I'm not happy with you, Terry. I hope I
Probably
never
shouldn't have
see you in
come.
St. Louis.
Yeah. Yeah, get lost, bitch, or we're
Can you
coming for
imagine if I ran
you.
into her and I'm like, fuck you?
Terry, fuck off.
Mentally, I would think that I would never scream in someone's face like that.
You could also just be like, thanks for your service, Terry, because you're going to be a firefighter till the day you die because your retirement got stolen.
I will just figure out the timestamp of this episode, and I will just
I think
I'll have one
also
card printed, and I will just give it to her.
you shouldn't make Terry mad because she might be your neighborhood firefighter or your family's. So just,
I don't live there.
Your family.
Let it burn.
You're like, fuck my family too. Fuck it. Terry, fuck you.
Take it all down with you.
Oh, whatever. Okay, well, Schwartz is also here with Terry and T, Billy Lee's friend. How weird. What a weird group.
The hodgepodge that is Sandoval's filming life is so funny to me.
The fuck is T doing meeting his mom?
Well, at least she didn't have to fly to St. Louis to meet mom over Christmas.
Also, James is here, and then Sandoval goes on stage. He does play Let's Touch in Public.
I thought of you.
Let's Touch in Public.
I wondered what you were thinking.
It's a bop.
I was like, I can't believe this came back around.
It's a bop. I feel bad for his partner who's probably not performing it, but you know, it happens.
Oh my God.
And then Jo's also here.
Shocker.
She loves the band. They're so good. That's what she yells.
Big fan.
Big fan. So then Schwartz is like, "Hey Joseph, you want to go outside real quick?"
Wait, really quick,
like, yeah.
about the show. Before we go outside, Sandoval's like, the crowd is like, their arms are in the air. They're like so excited,
It's
and
so
then
good to see people happy.
And then we get a clip of the audience, and it's just like a few two people with their hands like slightly raised. Nobody's like overexcited.
Do you know who looked the most miserable? Is fucking Terry.
I know.
Terry looked terrified. He's singing Let's Touch in Public, and Terry's like, Jesus Christ, my little St. Louis heart can't handle.
Terry, here's the thing. Terry enabled this man's behavior for sure, but Terry knows he's not a good singer. Like, she has to. She has ears.
But she was the mom that never told him.
No,
like my dad,
but she doesn't want to sit there and
quick.
listen either.
The constant joke was, Alicia, who sings this song? Let's leave it that way. That was a constant joke. Anyway, so Schwartz and Jo go outside. They already took Sandoval's name off the marquee. We can't have that.
I love that they caught that. I thought that was so funny. They were like, no!
So immediately Schwartz is like, How have you been? How many dudes you bang?
No.
Wow.
Why they're so weird with each other.
They're so awkward. They're like roboting, like cannot compute. We're just friends. They're so weird.
If two of my friends acted like this, I would be appalled.
In their 40s, Meredith. They can't have a civil conversation. They just act like morons. That's all they do.
Everything's a joke to them. I see why things get miscommunicated because Schwartz tries to like have some normal like discussions, and then like Jo will like do the robot, and then like Schwartz will like back that up with another weird comment, and I'm like, why can't we just like say like, hey, I'll be Ben. I know this has been hard.
The whole conversation is, how many dudes you bang? How many dudes I bang? What are you? And he goes, oh, I mean, ooh, yeah. Like that is the whole conversation. And then at some point he goes, I'm excited you're coming to San Francisco. And she goes, San Francisco. Like I literally,
I'm not okay. That was
that on point or what?
That was everything.
It was good.
That was right? That was all of it.
That was it. I got it.
That was everything they discussed, but you gave all the context with it.
When I tell you it makes me so uncomfortable, I just have to talk about it.
I can't believe you just did that.
Why? It's just our podcast.
Because I get secondhand embarrassment seeing them do it, that I cannot stomach the live acting you just gave me of the entire situation.
I'll make fun of them. I'll show people how stupid it is.
If you don't do the robot next time you see me greeting me,
beep, boop, beep.
I'm going to be pissed.
Meredith, I missed you. Like, that's literally all they fucking do.
But it has to be in public. Like, I need you to do it on my front street.
Middle of the street, yeah. So then Schwartz is like, hey there, Jo. I love you so much. You're such a bright, light energy in my life. And he goes, no mixed signals, though. And then, so embarrassing. If anyone near me did this, I would literally walk into traffic. He's like, we're just friends. And this is where she does real robot. She goes, just friends. Like, so weird.
My God.
And then he yells in the middle of the street. There are people just walking their dogs. Yells, we're going to be married in 8 years. To which she then, again, cannot compute. And like literally, when I tell you, also as they talk, they separate and come together like an accordion.
I know.
Constantly. Like they're turning around, they're dancing.
Weirdly, they have, despite it being weird, they are on the same wavelength. They're consistent. They're not. No. In the bits and in the like. In the dramatics and of what's happening in the scene, not really the conversation, but in the overall scene, they jive.
They're both fucking morons. Yeah.
So well that I'm like, you guys should just get fucking married.
Then he's like, we're just friends, but we'll be married in 8 years. And then she's like, that, ouch, you know, because she fucking
But that's what I'm saying. I see why she like doesn't take this all seriously. But then whenever he says like, oh, we're going to be married in 8 years, she latches and is like, okay, we are on the same page.
I get that. And if I'm Jo, I'm seeing that we're soulmates. Yes. If I had to make Schwartz's perfect like girl, this is it.
Yes. Every time he like sets the record straight with her or like is trying to make something clear, it makes it seem like it's a joke though.
If a dude ever described me as like the brightest light of energy in his life, I'd be like, you're obsessed.
We are getting married. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
I would think because he just got divorced, like she is in her mind telling herself like he needs some time, you know, out of the marriage. He needs some time to fuck around. I get that. I can give him his space and he'll come back to me.
Turns out he just needed someone half her age.
Jo has like given us a lot outside of the show of comments, but I need actual comments about Schwartz's relationship.
You should go listen to Nick Viall's podcast then. Or don't, because Nick Viall sucks. Yeah, he had Schwartz and the girlfriend on.
No, I'm sorry. I need Jo's response to the relationship. We have gotten responses to a lot of other things. This is the only time I'm asking Jo to give me information, and I want to know what that was like for her to find out about this relationship.
In like just English. Don't do any weird voices, please.
I need a written statement, please.
Beep, boop, boop, beep, bop. Shut up.
Just that would make it to the written statement. You know it.
Fuck it off. Yeah. God forbid she ever has to testify in court for anything.
Wait.
God forbid.
If the Sandoval Ariana Rachel trial goes to trial, I need Jo as a witness.
Bring your witness, Jo. They would literally just dismiss the case.
Even just like Discovery, like where you have to do those like interview or like the kind of like being on the stand.
I saw Raquel, whoops-a-daisy, walking through the hall.
She would be on Rachel's side, which I actually think would be even funnier.
Even Sandoval with like him and Ariana would probably for the first time ever make eye contact and just be like, "Is this a joke?" For once,
Jo testifying for Rachel would be the only thing that brings Sandoval and Ariana on the same team for one small moment in time.
Even Sandoval would be like, she's a fucking nightmare. She just shows up at my
Sandoval
shows.
Does not like Jo.
She just shows up at my shows. She says she's the biggest fan. Asked for my autograph. Like, I know her.
I know her.
She asked in a robot voice.
She roboted the pen to me.
She moonwalked over to me. It was the weirdest thing. Terry is like, who's this clown that showed up at shore?
Who's your stalker?
The stupidest. Can we talk about how the stupidest part of this whole show we just couldn't stop talking about?
I know. I'm literally crying because I'm envisioning all of this.
Listen, I know she talks to Katie in the finale. I hope she just moonwalks over and goes, beep, boop, boop, Katie, beep, boop, boop. Like, just so weird. And Katie just fucking knocks her.
K-Dog, knocks her right
up? Out. One fucking right hook. Jo just
worth it. Worth it. I will pay for your whatever happens. I will help you and donate.
Guess who's going to court? Katie, and Jo's got to testify, and that's just not going to work out very well. Like, imagine if she was a witness to a murder. She would never make it through.
She would not be. They would not. She'd be a hostile witness.
The judge would be like, I think we have other issues here.
Ma'am, can you say it in plain English? No robot voice.
Ma'am, why are you speaking like Mickey Mouse? Is that your real voice?
Ma'am, we don't need the bee-boops.
Daffy Duck, not necessary. Why are you going through the whole Mickey Mouse clubhouse?
Can you call them by their names, not the nicknames you came up with?
Please stop doing an NSYNC dance. It's just not. It's not the vibe.
We gotta move on because I can make this the joke for the next hour.
Forever. So we're on our way to San Francisco. Lala, well, like most of the group meets Dan for the first time, but Lala says that something's off. Oh my God, I'm going to fight. Something's off. Because what man would say that Ariana's the one after she just left her man of 10 years and they still live together? To which, please give me a moment.
Okay.
Who said Dan was like, this is the one? He's just dating her. 2, didn't you date a man in a marriage?
Mm-hmm.
Who does that?
Where was Randall living when you started dating him?
And 3, fuck you and your stupid ass judgment. Fuck you. Fuck you, Lauren from Utah. Fuck off. Come fight me.
Fuck yourself with a cheese grater.
Fuck yourself with a cheese grater. You know what? Play this on your stupid Amazon Live and come fight me. I'll join that live and we'll go toe to toe. I'm not scared.
Alicia, I was like, I'm sorry. This entire season and like has already been horrific for you, Lauren from Utah. And then you add this. What did Ariana do to you?
You're a joke.
I don't trust your judgment at all, so your opinions do not matter to me, but tell me you're more jealous of Ariana without telling me you're jealous of Ariana.
She's a miserable person. Like, people say Katie's a miserable person. No. Look at the way Lala treats, like, other people who are, quote, doing better.
When Katie's, quote, unquote, miserable, it's like she's usually upset with something in her own life, and she's not happy, and that's, like, I understand that.
She's dealing with something.
Lala is, like, unleashing her like rage on the women of this cast
towards the women.
What?
who are doing nothing but living their lives and actually having your back.
I was about to say, being supportive of you. Like, Ariana was so happy during your, like, sperm donor pick out thing. And, like, Katie is, like, getting ready with you for your birthday. Like, this is a one-sided beef that these girls don't even know is happening until present day where they're rewatching this show back.
Yeah, this
That's
is embarrassing.
That's how embarrassing it is on Lala's side. Is like, you're not even actually beefing with these people. You're just making snide remarks behind their back. Grow up.
You're just a miserable person, honestly.
Honestly.
So, fuck off. Anyway, so Sandoval also boards the plane. I do love, though.
Great job, Sandoval. Boarded the plane.
We get a look at, like, Ariana and Katie being like, ugh. Mm-hmm. I love this row on a plane. Katie's at the window. Ariana's in the middle. Dan's in the aisle. That is perfect. Here's what I was thinking immediately. Mm-hmm. I was like, first of all, 3 best friends that anyone could have.
Absolutely.
Like, Ariana immediately is going to let Katie into her and Dan's relationship, and they're just going to be the 3 besties. Yep. Dan takes the aisle to protect Katie and Ariana from the bullshit on this plane, which is their exes. And he's also like, Katie, of course you can have the window seat, because why wouldn't Katie take the window seat? She's a queen. Mm-hmm. She deserves it. And then the 3 of them can just, like, cutely gossip, and they're all going to drink because no one on this cast drinks anymore except the 3 of them, basically. So they're all going to have their little cocktails on the flight, and they're all going to hang out, and they're just like the besties that ever did live.
Those 3 did not have headphones in. They were all laughing and giggling with each other. Everybody else is like in their own world because they don't know how to have fun.
Guess who's not miserable? It's the 3 of them.
Us, because we're sitting in that row with them.
Listen, this is the group I want to hang out with.
Same.
So we arrive in San Francisco. Sandoval doesn't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable, including Ariana's new boyfriend, but he does want to meet him. I'm like, why? Literally, what's your point?
The way he was like, I'm not going to cause trouble. I'm going to be easy like a Sunday morning.
God. What? Isn't that a song lyric? Someone should sue him.
Why do you feel the need to center yourself in every situation?
Because he's annoying and he has no storyline. Okay, so the minute James gets into a hotel room, he has to jump on the couch and the bed, of course.
I love him.
I'm obsessed. Dan is ditching Ariana to go work out. He's like, listen, I didn't love that Dan doesn't really go to any of the cast stuff, but also contractually, he doesn't have to. And he probably
socially, doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to. I get that, okay, maybe he should have been there to, like, support Ariana, but if Ariana's not mad about it, I don't know why I would be either. And, like, Dan doesn't, again, he's 40. He doesn't have time for this stupid bullshit. He's not going to just hang out with this group of people he doesn't even know.
I don't think it's that weird, because if the other plus ones, the Kyle Chens of the world, are not there, why does he need to show up to this? It is just cast members showing up to these events. So I don't think it should be looked down upon that he is not attending.
Oh, good point. I like that. So Schwartz visits Sandoval's room. Schwartz immediately is like, my room is way better than yours.
Okay, if Schwartz is like a 10-year-old, he's fine.
Hilarious.
But the fact that he's in a 40-year-old body and needs to, like, be an actual fucking adult, that's where he goes wrong. But this is 10-year-old behavior, and I like when he's just a simple child.
Wait, other 10-year-old behavior is wearing shorts. Because Sandoval's like, it's 59 degrees out. And he's like, and Schwartz is like, I'm from Minnesota. That's child's play.
Yeah.
And I get that. But also, I had a cousin probably for junior high through high school, did not wear a pair of pants.
Why do guys do that? I don't understand it.
It's Midwestern men. They just love a short.
I went to a private school, like grade school, where, like, you had a uniform, and the boys would not wear pants in the winter. They wore shorts.
Wear your shorts.
365. I did not go to school year round, but all the days in school, they wore shorts.
Well, in the summer, they're not going to wear pants.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, for sure. Hilarious. Schwartz says he met Dan. Sandoval says he should probably meet Dan and give him the lowdown, just like Ariana did to T. And I love that Schwartz goes, not cool, man. Like, Schwartz is even like, come on, grow up.
If Sandoval doesn't want to give things up or doesn't want to let things go, he doesn't have to. But, like, he requires everybody else to give everything up. Like, Sheena really shouldn't have released her song because, like, she needs to give up this, like, mentality about Sandoval. Why don't you, like walk the walk?
Ugh, the worst. Anyway, so yeah, Dan's not going to their pier excursion. They get to the piers. I've been here. It is a tourist trap if I've ever seen one, but teach their own. They get out of their vans and Schwartz immediately reaches for Katie's hand and she ignores him. And Allie sees the whole thing, which is so awkward for Allie. And Schwartz is like, oh, I thought Katie might like grab my hand. And Katie turns and she goes, you never held my hand. Like, why would I grab it now? And he's like, no, you're right. Dumb on me.
You know what's weird? Allie has never really known them together.
You're right.
I mean, for like the first 2 months of her being in James's world, maybe she met them, but that doesn't really count. It's not like she was like close friends with them.
You're right.
I know.
So Allie probably was definitely super thrown off. She was like, what the fuck is actually happening?
Yeah, like her being the one to see that is even weirder.
It's hilarious, honestly.
Because it's very abnormal
Allie hasn't
to her.
said one word yet in this episode, and she's just like, what the fuck?
I was actually questioning if Allie was on this trip. I couldn't remember, and then I thought she had to be. Actually, I know because of a scene coming up.
Yeah. And then everyone's so cold, they're buying hoodies, which this is where I want to talk. Literally, my family and I were so cold in San Francisco. We all bought hoodies and we all have matching San Francisco. They're not matching, but they all say San Francisco. And because we had packed for California, but it turned out to be gray May, so we're fucking cold. Every single one of our pictures were in these hoodies. Like,
I love that.
In San Francisco sweatshirts this whole trip.
I like that the group just like all bought sweatshirts and they're all like, I like that they're just all in San Francisco shit because I just find it like such normal people behavior, like your story. Like every picture has this in it. Schwartz also buys like a hat and a hoodie. Like,
yeah, he's really taking it.
And they're not matching.
He's got shorts on, so he's cold.
Everybody is just in different stuff, and I think it's hilarious.
I love Brock. He's like, it's really cold. And Sheena's like, I fucking told you. Sheena's in a full fur wrap.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So she does not buy a sweatshirt. Here's my thing. Sheena, just buy a sweatshirt for the bit.
Yeah, I mean, you would think. Like, it's very funny that now my family and I look back on these pictures and go, oh my God, we're in the same sweatshirts for a week and a half.
I bet when anybody like wears it outside of it, you're like, wow, Sheena won't have that
never
moment.
Forget. No, that sucks for her. Okay, so then we go by the piers with the Toms. Schwartz feels like he could probably escape from Alcatraz. This big dummy feels like, no, for sure.
I love when he's just a like not it doesn't like hurt anybody else, kind of an idiot. Like
he's just a big dummy. Yeah.
I love those moments because I'm like, you big dummy.
He's like, I could do it.
I'm like, sure.
And I was like, sir.
I'm like, go ahead.
We're about to go. You know what? Someone should have asked him that question when they were on that boat and the water was super rough.
Well, I'm like, why do you feel like you need to start at Alcatraz? You can start on mainland and swim to Alcatraz.
Just do it now.
Yeah, jump in there.
Fucking do it.
Get after it.
Also, wait till night if you want to really do what the prisoners did.
Really set the mood.
Yeah, hell yeah. We'll give you a prisoner's outfit too. Just really good. And that's how Schwartz died. Anyway, so Schwartz and Sandoval talk. Schwartz says it's nice when he doesn't see seething rage anymore when he looks at Sandoval. Mostly business stuff, but he had which I'd love to see Schwartz have any kind of seething rage.
Well, if Schwartz got to have 5 months of seething rage towards Sandoval over business, how much time do we think Ariana should get for a romantic relationship where they owned a house together?
Literally none, because women shouldn't have emotions, Meredith.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, so they're working on a plan right now at the restaurant to get Sandoval more involved. And then Schwartz is also like, hey, I'm a super big dummy. Let's move in together. I'll be your roommate.
I think this is just for the cameras. So I try not to pay any attention to it.
What a moron. Even to joke about it, a moron.
As much as we talk about like wanting to live in the same building, I'm not moving into your house that your partner, no matter the circumstances, by the way, that your partner just moved out of, and it would require me to pay $6,000 to not have equity. I'm never doing that.
No, I wouldn't ask you to, please. It's never happening. It's just crazy. Anyway, so we go on this boat ride. It's called Wine Therapy. There's a pole in the middle of the boat, which James immediately jumps on with no regard to how close anyone else is.
You know what?
And also,
I don't care. I don't care if he kicks somebody in the face. He's bringing up the vibes of this group. Have you ever boarded a party bus and everybody just sits there?
Yeah, it's lame.
Yeah, James is not going to let that happen.
All his money goes flying out of his pockets.
It's like a reverse strip club moment.
Yeah, I would have picked that money up. I don't know what everyone else was doing. I would have been like,
thank you for the show and the cash.
And the money. So the group finds out Jo is coming tomorrow. Sandoval tells Lala that him and Ariana took their first trip together and they actually stopped in San Francisco.
Why are we bringing this up?
Lala's like, that's sad.
Yeah.
James loves to yell. He's yelling everywhere. Allie, you want to drive? Allie, get a picture.
I love him.
I love
nobody
him.
Can make me hate him. I love him.
He's on a level and I love him so much. The water is very crazy though, so the boat gets a little rocky and Ariana's very scared of waves. Not the ocean, not of sharks, not of swimming, just the waves.
This fear tracks. I was terrified. Actually, I was more terrified in the for the rest of the season on whatever, when they showed us that, it looked like they were going to capsize. This was less scary, like the overall scene, but I was still like, get me off this boat. No, thank you.
I love a rocky boat.
I get a little seasick though too, and so
no.
I start to freak out that I'm going to throw up, which then makes me freak out more. So
you have a full panic.
Yeah,
I get it. And the boys all take turns driving the boat, which boys love.
Oh my God.
So now we're exploring the piers. There's not seals. Are they seals?
Sea lions.
Sea lions. So many sea lions. They're very cute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obviously not an animal person.
Actually, those might have been seals. Either way, one or the other.
They're very cute. So Brock and Ariana talk, and Brock asks Ariana how it is to be around Sandoval, and Ariana says he's just furniture at this point. And then Brock's like, it's better than the last time we hung out on the beach. Never forget. And Ariana's like, yeah, hopefully he learned not to talk to me. So bet that. And Brock's like, will you talk in the future? And Ariana says, for whose benefit? For his? And Brock's like, no, for Sheena's benefit, because everything's about Sheena.
I was like, for Sheena's benefit?
And then Ariana's like, oh, so like one of the women I care the most about, he can just scream at like he did less than a week ago. For her benefit, I need to talk to him.
It's crazy to me that like Ariana is the only one that we saw jumped to Sheena, and like Allie was there because Sheena was like, sorry for screaming in your house.
Allie, again, accidentally just showed up. Right place, right time.
But Ariana's really the only true friend of Sheena's who like cared in that moment. And nobody even gives her like half of the same consideration back in her devastating relationship.
Ariana's like, I have more love for Sheena than to let someone speak to her like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, Brock, maybe you fucking should too as a husband.
He did not really respond to that because there is no response to that. Like, you would have to really confront how much you guys are willing to overlook with Sandoval.
Yeah.
Did you see on Watch What Happens Live that Ariana was like, they got posed, Ariana and Katie got posed with the question of like, who is Sheena a better friend to, Sandoval or Ariana? And they were like, Sandoval.
Yeah.
I'm so curious what Sheena will say on her podcast about that.
Their Watch What Happens Live was very good.
Oh, incredible.
They were insane.
It made me feel for the first time this season with Vanderpump that I'm not crazy. Like, I finally got a moment where I was like, okay, at no point in this 30-minute period did I feel crazy.
I will say, I understand that Ariana did not have the time to watch the episodes.
Oh,
However, I do think you should. I do. I know you're on Broadway. And I get like, we'll talk about this later, but you'd rather do Broadway than the show. But like, just do it for me.
Here's my thing.
Like, just
you can't convince me that you don't have enough time because There's going to be 15 episodes. Their versions don't have commercials. So let's call that 45 minutes of content per episode. That plane ride is like, has to be like 6 hours whenever you're flying like from New York to LA. There's 6 hours of time for some of it. You're telling me you can't watch any of it? You can fast forward through some of the bits. Don't.
Well, she lived in New York while she was.
No, I get why you're not watching it, while you're on your Chicago run. But the minute she ended her Chicago run and she flies back to LA to film that reunion, why aren't we like binging it or like attempting to watch some of it? She's acting like she hasn't watched any like an ounce of it ahead of the reunion and this Watch What Happens Live.
I just wish she did to see like this shit,
Yeah.
Anyway, we could get to that later. Brock says, forgiveness isn't accepting what he's done. It's giving you the ability to focus on the good things around you. And Ariana's like, yeah, totally. But do you know that you actually don't have to forgive anyone who's traumatized you? You could just tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I've talked about this before. I hate when people are like, you have to forgive for you. No, I don't. I feel fine. I'm not losing sleep not forgiving people.
Okay, I can get that. I can understand that discussion a little bit more, but truly in this, Brock is saying you need to forgive Sandoval to make Sheena's life easier and be able to talk to him. So like forgiving for Ariana, if Brock was trying to have that conversation, that would make a little bit more sense. But truly he is saying she needs to forgive Sandoval for everybody else's sake.
She doesn't ever have to forgive him if she doesn't want to.
No, I don't think she should have to, but it would make more sense if Brock was like, you should forgive him for you because you seem like...
If the conversation was actually fucking about Ariana.
It would make more sense.
Yeah, so Ariana also says, like, forgiveness is crazy. I could just cut people out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And she says to Brock, there's power in anger and female emotion and not be put into a position to take the high road or be strong in all moments. There's power in all emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my God, a feminist icon. Look out.
I mean, that's so true.
And then Brock is like, I actually can't speak for women, so I don't know.
No way, Brock.
And Ariana's like, there's never any problem with male rage, but it seems like everyone's got issues with female rage. And Brock goes, what's male rage? When? And the Bravo producer said, 1 moment, please. And we get 4 clips at the same time of men raging at women.
Every cast member.
Including Brock.
Doing it.
Yep, we had, what did I notice, was Schwartz dumping a drink on Katie's head,
mm-hmm.
Brock yelling at Sheena, James just yelling, full of rage.
James
and
being
Sandoval,
James.
I think, yelling at Ariana.
Yeah. So, and
at the same time.
This season alone, Sandoval has yelled at Ariana and yelled at Sheena and no one stepped in. But the minute...
He yelled at Lala, too.
True. The minute Ariana started yelling back at Sandoval, everybody freaked out.
Oh, whoa, Ariana, cut it out.
Like, why can't you just talk to him? See, you can't even be in the same space. You're so activated. You really need to get over this.
Fuck you. So Ariana says men raise their voices all the time and it's never really a thought. Mm-hmm. And I went, you know what? That's true. Because one of the most beautiful moments we've ever gotten in Vanderpump Rules was when Ariana yelled and said, I don't give a fuck about fucking Raquel. Mm-hmm. And it was beautiful and it was amazing. And it shut him the fuck up. For 2 seconds, someone let a woman rage without going, calm down. Oh my God, stop.
Well,
be the bigger person.
Because it was popular to be on her side. So nobody was going to tell her to shut the fuck up.
No, but it was just the 2 of them, right? Like,
yes.
Like you said, in any scenario
I forgot about
where
that.
Women ever yell, Katie has ever yelled, mm-hmm. Stassi, Kristen, Ariana, anyone, even Lala, people are always like, calm down, stop, don't talk like that.
Yeah.
But the men rage and everyone just stops and listens because we just let them get it out.
Yeah.
Why can't we just get it out?
Because boys will be boys.
Also, who's usually yelling over us as women are yelling? It's the men.
That's
when
the
men
thing.
yell,
like,
I just sit there and watch them and go, you guys are idiots.
Are women yelling in response to yelling?
Are women yelling in response to the things men do to them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, when Schwartz poured a drink on Katie's face, but head, I think it would have been fair if she yelled fucking at him.
By the way, twice, because producers made them redo it because they missed it.
Oh my God, that's the craziest tea we've ever gotten. Anyway, so great. Fuck off, Brock. So we get back to the hotel. We're all getting ready for the Roaring 20s party. Schwartz puts champagne on oysters.
Is this a
criminal? No, a criminal.
The way he was like, nom, 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 nom. I was like, you're 10 years old.
There are tears in my eyes. I want to kill him.
This did reignite my want for oysters, by the way.
I love oysters. Not like him.
No, don't pour champagne on them. Just a little lemon juice.
That's disgusting.
Oh, you're ruining things.
Anyway, Lala stopped by Ariana's room. Ariana's like, guess what happened while I was gone? Dan ironed all of my clothes.
Anytime Lala shows up and is in Ariana's breathing space, I'm like, get the fuck away, you traitor. But keep going.
Also, though, she's so into Dan.
Dan, like, his hair is out and he's wrapped in a little towel.
He's in a towel.
He looked hot, and Lala was like, oh my God. No, go away.
Immediately, she's jealous. You know.
She's jealous for so many reasons, but we just got another. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but Dan ironed all of Ariana's clothes while she was gone. So cute. But he's also not going to come to this party. He's going to go out to dinner with Brad, Ariana's friend.
Yeah. Oh, and he got her a Celsius. Like, this is what's showing up as a partner.
Put in an ice bucket.
This is so cute. Like, this is what probably makes it easy to move on from a 10-year relationship, is having a supportive partner.
Yeah. He sounds nothing if not so supportive of her. And loving, and acts of service are everywhere.
And guess what? Like, has not really been on camera, so there's no way he did this thinking this would be, like, talked about on camera.
Yeah, he just did it because he's a kind human. Mm-hmm. And probably raised by a great mother, I'm just saying.
Yeah, the
I obviously know nothing about his family, so if he wasn't, I am so sorry. But, like, you know, he probably had a very good role model.
Well, he learned it somewhere, you know.
Respected women somewhere along the line and really learned and honed on that, you know. James takes a bubble bath, but acts like it's a pool because he's like diving in.
I love him.
And Allie is trying to have a conversation. She's like, hey, wasn't it weird that Dan wasn't on the boat?
And James, you know, like,
producers were like, Allie, hit these beats. And James pops out of the water.
Yeah, crazy.
With bubbles all over his head. And he's like...
the height of the bubbles.
So big.
I mean, I want to, like, play mermaids in the bathtub right now.
We all put on our swimsuits and we're just like, James, let us in. James says Dan probably didn't want to hang around Ariana's ex. And Allie's like, isn't it weird that he came to San Francisco and not spending time with Ariana?
Not really.
And James is like, you don't know who Dan is. Maybe he wants to kill Sandoval, so it's better he doesn't come. And then James brings out his rubber ducky and goes back to playing in his pool.
5 more minutes, Mom.
That was a good point, though. You don't know who Dan is. Maybe it's better to keep them separated.
Why do they need to become best friends? I just don't understand this narrative that, like, Sandoval is the end-all be-all, and so we all have to, like, merge with him. I understand where you're like, hey, I wish he would have hung out with us if there were 2 separate events.
I wish we could have gotten to know Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Great. James is like, well, we'll get to know him without Sandoval. We'll uninvite him to something.
We should have dinner or drinks where Sandoval isn't there. Why don't we make the new person feel comfortable?
We could go to Ariana's room and just chat like Lala did.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, we cut back to Ariana's room with Lala, and then, like, Dan's in and out of the talking situation because he's getting ready to go out to dinner with Brad. But Lala's like, it's kind of weird, Ariana, seeing you with someone who isn't Sandoval, which is weird because Lala came in when Ariana and Sandoval have always been dating. So
yeah,
Lala doesn't know.
It is a transition. Like, it's okay to, like, find it weird that, like, to see her with someone new, since Dan's not there all the time. Like, you really don't get to see it. So finally seeing it is different.
Yeah, and Ariana's not, like, mad at that. No. She's like, yeah, probably. And then Lala asks Dan if it was weird on the bus around Sandoval. Dan is so chill. He's like, nah. And that's it. Like, he's not here for the camera.
Yeah, into something.
He also doesn't know. I think like you have to hit so many beats and talk about he's just like, no.
Well, he
Like
doesn't have to.
reality TV would be so boring if no one like went into detail about their feelings.
Absolutely. But he is not on this
But
show. He has agreed to come for
yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah. So Lala asked Dan what he would do if Sandoval came over and introduced himself. And Dan's like, he hasn't done anything to me, but I know what he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. He's so chill. Lala literally doesn't know what to do except stare at his abs.
Dan does not give Lala or the audience room to like misinterpret his words. Like the more you say, the more like the meaning can change and like the more you could dissect things. He's like, no, he hasn't done anything to me. I'm not mad at him for that, but I do know what he's done.
So
and
tis the end. I loved it. So we go to the Roaring 20s party. Sandoval and Ariana are wearing the same shoes. Awkward.
Okay, Schwartz is wearing that style of shoes too. Like, why do we need to call out Ariana and Sandoval things?
No one pointed that out. But Ariana immediately is like, hey, Katie, can we go look at the view? And Katie, being a good friend, is like, of course, I'd love to look at the view with you. And so Schwartz comes over. And he's like, oh my God, Ariana, Katie, you guys kind of look like you're a duo because they're both wearing like these pants, like these 20s pantsuits and like a little tie.
It's like no shirt and just a tie in there. Yeah. God, they look so hot.
With a blazer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. But Ariana's like, yeah, we are a duo. And Katie goes, we're the new Tom.
I was like, yes.
Which they are. They are the new dynamic duo. Mm-hmm. They are the dynamic duo.
They're everything to me. They're the reason I watched this show.
They're the reason I breathe. I'm obsessed with them. So Schwartz is like, look at us. We're all friends again. And Ariana's like, then Schwartz says, it's nice to hang out and not feel like nervous around you guys because you two are scary. And Ariana's like, I don't know. I kind of like it when you feel that way.
Me too.
And Schwartz is like, no worries. I'm still subservient. So whatever you want. And then Schwartz is like, hey, can I talk to my ex-wife and like hit on her? And Ariana's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking leave. So then it's just the bubbas now. And Schwartz is like, Katie, it's you and me. It's just us being friends. And Katie's like, I don't like you, but yeah, we're friends. So don't take that for granted.
Yeah, do not take her for granted. Like, she's a good one.
Like you have been for 12 years. So then Schwartz is like, hey, Katie, since we're in San Francisco and I miss you, I was basically thinking we could have a one-night stand. And Katie throws up in her mouth a little bit. Yeah. But then Schwartz is like, no, wait, hear me out. We can just order junk food and scroll aimlessly on our phones and not talk like we used to. And Katie goes, I don't want that. No. And then Katie's like, this is where Katie says, in 5 to 6 years, Schwartz is going to realize that she's the one that got away. So you can't have her. She's gone, bitch. You let her go. And then she walks away, but he's like, think about it. She's
I also love that on Watch What Happens Live, she was like, I kind of would rather have sex with him than scroll TikTok like silently. Like it you have to have a really good relationship to truly be like just silent with somebody, like
sitting silently. Bed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a great one. Did you see on Watch What Happens Live she had to play that show or that game? Or no, it was Ariana that played the game of like, would you rather do something or hang out with Sandoval?
I loved that game.
I was dying at that game.
I also thought she would just choose not Sandoval the entire way, but it was funny to see that like she kind of answered it very honestly on like there is some instances where she would rather just like have a conversation.
Well, it was like,
Sandoval.
Would you rather go against Katie or hang out with Sandoval? And she's like, oh, hang out with Sandoval.
I mean, if that's not a ride or die loyalty right there, Lala, take a note. Take note.
My favorite though is when he goes, would you rather hang out with Jax or hang out with Sandoval? And I went, oh my God, Sophie's choice. We really don't know.
I feel like Jax, like the antagonizing would be a little bit more fun.
She picked Jax, but I mean, wild, right? Anyway, okay, so then Sandoval asked Sheena to talk. So they go to the opposite end of the building and they talk about how Sandoval's got a guy coming for sound check tomorrow with a top tier wireless mic.
Thank God our performer Sheena really needs one.
Well, Sheena's goes, okay, I hope it's good because I'm not a singer. And I started laughing and I was like, Yep.
I
Yep.
am
She's a
so looking
performer.
forward to this performance. Again, I'm so happy I've not seen or listened to, the song yet, because this is what I need.
APPLES.
Because that's the way I listened to Good as Gold for the first time, is through this show. And so I just feel
It's a
like I can
banger.
only get Sheena's music through the show.
So Sandoval tells Sheena he won't be around tomorrow, so Dan can come around. He's happy Ariana has Dan because he was worried for her mentally with this whole situation that he basically created.
And perpetuated and antagonized her.
And if she had someone, she would be able to handle this a lot better.
So I don't have to stop antagonizing her. She just has somebody by her side who can help her get through this.
Well, she's also not mentally strong enough to handle it on her own. So
I don't understand how this cast
she needs a man because women are weak.
Drop kicked this. I don't understand how anybody on this show has not drop kicked Sandoval off this roof already.
I mean, Dan could take Sandoval easy, just, so I think I would pay for that.
Dan is not here for Sandoval's safety. Let's remember that.
Sheena's basically like, look, I know there's no contact between you and Ariana, but since you said really terrible things about her mental health, could you possibly apologize for those things? And I was like, yeah, remember when he said that she had sex in a t-shirt, made fun of her body?
And blamed the whole affair she had been
body shamed
on her mental health, and that's why he couldn't end things with her.
That she was gonna kill herself.
Yeah.
That's crazy to it's all crazy to say.
Also, if you as my friend knew I wanted to be no contact with someone and you were encouraging them to sit down and have a conversation with me, that would upset me deeply.
Yeah, I agree.
Write me a letter.
Very terrible.
If you as my friend think I really need to hear an apology from this person, they should write a letter.
Also, what's going to come from the apology? Whose benefit is this for? You already know if I'm Ariana, I'm not going to forgive him. So what? He's going to apologize and then I'm going to look like the villain for not forgiving him?
Yeah. You're setting me up.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm pissed. So Sheena's like, we could have our friend group back if you apologize.
Oh my
God. No! Stop aiming for this friend group. The friend group is dead.
Well,
We're done.
That's centering Ariana on the blame of why this isn't a friend group, rather than the real villain, who is Sandoval, who wrecked this world.
That's all I'm saying. So at the end of the day, Ariana just wanted to make it work. She did everything to build a life. Sheena tells Sandoval this. And Sandoval takes a deep sigh. And Sheena goes, you don't even need to respond. Just think about what I have said. Respond. Which I think finally Sheena said something nice.
That makes sense.
Don't fucking respond.
Shut the fuck up.
And Sandoval's like, in his interview, he goes, when I explain myself, it comes across as blaming Ariana. And even though in random ways our relationship went south, she didn't deserve that. I'm like, random ways. What do you think happened?
I'm like, what producer coached you on saying that?
Producer? It sounds crazy.
I know, but this redemption arc that they've been building for months during filming has to actually happen, in the editing.
Well, Sandoval believes he's the victim.
No, I agree. But he's like, wow, I didn't realize that everything I was saying was hurting her.
My God.
Who told you to sit down and say that you were kind of sorry? Because that's the most they're going to get out of him. If a producer was like, you need to say something like this in your interview chair, this is the best that he would ever provide.
Literally vomit. So then Sandoval and Sheena, they're very happy they can talk like this, and they hug, and he cries into her shoulder.
The way that
they hug for a weird amount of time.
Yeah, but also the way he cries on command, super weird.
Terrible. He could really get it flowing.
Never really cried on this show. Has cried 800 times this season.
Also, have you noticed how his interviews are crazily different? Obviously, it's because he's just always sad in his interviews.
Different in what way?
I think in the way he speaks even. Now he's like,
He's like,
it used to be like, yeah, man, that's fuck Jax or Kristen's crazy. And now it's very like, yeah, so like I'm just trying to get through my days as a victim. Like he went down an octave. Like
and he's
it's
like doing
kind of
like the
crazy.
pauses and like the
Like the sighs.
yes, the
Yeah.
acting.
It's so weird. Yeah, it's so weird. Okay, like I said, I didn't get a next time on, but we're gonna get that party, which is now we know Kyle's party. We
Well,
get
we
the
got
fight
like
that
Ariana
happens.
walking away from Sandoval wanting to talk, and Sheena saying like, I forget what word she used, but like, are we actually friends or is it just all for the show? Kind of vibes.
We probably get Joe apologizing to Katie.
Jo
We
was
know
sitting on a
that's
couch, and I was like, God
coming.
damn it.
So beep boop boop beep.
Boop,
We'll
boop.
see.
Oh, I was thinking like if because earlier in the episode you were talking about like Schwartz dying. You made a comment, and I almost wanted to be like, Joe would just be there at the funeral, boop up, boop boop.
God forbid she never has to give a eulogy. How uncomfortable would that eulogy be?
I want somebody to cosplay that. I'm not that type of podcaster where I will put videos out like that, but I'm calling all Vanderpump Rules fans. Can
Give Schwartz's
somebody,
eulogy as Joe.
yeah, can somebody create that
Damn
content
it.
or like get in
You
contact
have
with someone
like
at SNL?
I would do it, but you have better hair color than me. I
I'll buy you a
do.
goddamn wig.
All right, let's do it. I'll try. Beep boop boop. Hey Schwartz, can you hear me in there? Knock knock. Got it. Knock knock. Who's there? Not Schwartz because he's dead. Oopsie.
I will look into if there's a TikTok filter where it can change your hair. That's
just knock out a coffin.
beep boop. Do we need a
Are
prop
you in
coffin?
Are you in there, Schwartz? It's me, Joe.
Your soulmate you're gonna get together with in 8 years.
Should I come in? I'll be buried right next to you.
Should I come in?
Should I come in? I'm just saying. Okay, so whatever. We'll get the finale. Great. Okay, should we do accepted and blocked?
Yes.
Ooh, who is it? I have my accepted.
Okay, let's do accepted. Go first.
I have to accept Ariana, a feminist icon, a queen.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with her. I love her so much. I think she really got the fucking short end of the stick on this season because everyone's really trying to make her seem like the fucking villain and it's her fault. But you know what? It's not. And we see you, girl. And we know that you're the fucking star.
And we stand with you.
Yeah. Not Norris, that one guy that left a review. He doesn't get you, but we get you.
But hey, Norse, if you're still here for the updates, don't worry, we got you. We
got more stuff. Don't worry. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned to the end. Don't worry, we'll get to your part. I'm picking the other part of that duo with Katie. I loved her denying Schwartz at every step of the way of this episode. Her just jamming with Ariana and just being a decent human being, which is hard to say with the rest of the cast. She goes above and beyond past decent, but like the bar is decent with this group.
Above and beyond. Okay, I'm picking Lauren from Utah. What a bitch. That's how I feel.
You're going to be so mad next episode. I accidentally saw some of the like first 6 minutes.
I think what makes me way madder at her is like, I know Sheena's a flip-flopper. Mm-hmm. And to me, she might be. Don't take this with a grain of salt. To me, Sheena's not dangerous because you could destroy Sheena in 2 seconds. Just tell her she's like ugly or something and she'll cry and sob and like Sheena to me isn't dangerous.
I don't think she's helpful, but I don't think she's like tearing someone
hurtful.
Down.
Yeah, Sheena's just
Sheena.
She can't see past herself and Summer Moon. Those are like the only 2 people she loves. Lala not only is not helpful to you, she will hurt you. Her actions can hurt you. The things she says can hurt you. And that extra sucks because she has been through so much that you would think she would have empathy for the people also going through this.
That's the thing.
And I think she put her own like want to be the star above what's actually right.
I don't really have words for it. I haven't fully let it settle in, but I just know I'm mad.
I can't I can't communicate it correctly, but I understand her wanting to be less angry. I get that, but that doesn't mean everyone deserves forgiveness from everyone.
And it's the doing it behind Ariana's back. Like these comments,
Yeah.
Ariana said that she like thought that they were like the Spice Girls all summer. It would hurt me
Yeah,
so much to think one thing all summer my friends were supporting me and then find out in these interviews that she's not.
Lauren from Utah is a fucking pick me. Like an absolute terrible, terrible,
I
jealous, miserable pick me.
I don't think the reunion will satisfy us. I'm just putting this out there that like I just think a lot more has come to light since they filmed the reunion. And with Ariana not having watched the show, I don't think she accurately knew how to like show up for herself. But I know the internet is doing its job, making sure that like we know what's going on, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
My blocked is Sheena.
Shishi? I get it.
I
I get it.
I know she's not like super detractive, but I think she's ignorantly detractive in this
Yeah,
episode with
she's yeah.
asking Sandoval to break no contact and telling Sandoval she missed him after he just screamed in her face. Like, if
Yeah.
you need that friendship so bad, pick it. Pick it and leave Ariana the hell alone.
Yeah. Sheena is sheening in the worst fucking way Sheena has ever
And
sheened.
she wouldn't even be fun and just buy a stupid little San Francisco sweatshirt with the group.
Yeah. Yeah. Rough. Okay, well, great. Let's talk about Vanderpump news.
Yes.
So, uh Vanderpump Rules is paused for filming for the summer.
Which
Yeah.
Tierney sent me a screenshot from a Reddit thread talking about all the reasons the pause makes sense. So I thought we could start here.
Okay.
So,
Let's talk about it.
you Wilder on Reddit on the Vanderpumpaholic thread said they're probably just letting things take a breath. Like the article says, Ariana will be in Fiji for a few months this summer for Love Island and won't be able to film. Plus, James has his summer residency in Vegas, which will take him out of filming. I didn't know
Oh,
about that. I
congratulations.
know. Plus, Tom and Ariana are involved in. Actually, they're involved in two lawsuits. This only says one.
Yep.
They're suing each other, or not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're trying to get their house settled,
They're fighting.
and then they're
Yeah.
also fighting with Rachel Raquel. And this says that that lawsuit will add a level of stress that won't be fun to capture on camera, which is true. Like they really would not talk about that on
Mm-hmm.
camera until it's settled. And then honestly, the only fun thing happening this summer would be something about her mate like opening on May 22nd. So we would get it kind of in action this summer. And just the overall theme is that they like need some space to truly become a friend group again, or at least like let their friendships be a little
Yeah.
stronger.
That was very PC. I thought we were going to go in.
Oh, no, sorry. I just wanted to set the scene on why summer doesn't make sense already.
That makes a lot of sense. So I agree with all that. I think, okay, really put a lot of effort into thinking about this. And Meredith knows I was going to make a TikTok, but I decided because I got multiple texts that said they're excited to hear us discuss it, that I just wanted to keep it for this. I think, truthfully, Vanderpump Rules has not been great since before COVID.
I agree.
It hasn't been great. I mean, when you bring up season 2 through 5 of Vanderpump Rules, that's art. Like absolute art. The season where like Jack, Stassi, and Kristen didn't return was rough because we were refining our footing.
Yeah.
They really held the show. Jack,
okay, but even before that, like you said, like season 8, not fun.
Yeah.
Jackson Brittany's wedding.
Yeah,
we hated that
it wasn't
season.
Great. But you had main players who can hold the show. So like Jax, great reality TV star. Kristen, great. Stassi, amazing. Those were 3 big players. When they left, we really lost big players, which is why we tried bringing in new people. It didn't really work out. Then I think after that season was the season that everyone broke up, right?
season 9 was the first one back from COVID.
Which is where we had Max and Threesome
And that
Brett
was
and other
when James
Brett.
and Raquel got engaged. At the
Yes.
end of season 9 reunion, James and Raquel break up. Season 10.
And then we had Katie.
After
We
the
had Katie
reunion.
break up and Schwartz, and then Lala also had a breakup.
Yes.
And I think that's what worked for season 10 because we wanted to see that whole new dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, personally, I think season like starting there at season 10, the show became about situations rather than the characters.
True. Watching a
Which I think is
situation unfold
fine.
rather than
Yeah,
like
I
watching
wanted to
a
see
character.
yeah, I wanted to see those situations unfold, which is why I was fine with season 10. I thought Vanderpump Rules was going to be canceled after season 10, and I was fine with that.
Yeah.
But then Scandival really made us want more. We craved it. And I think it was smart to renew
Here's my thing on that. I don't think it's that we craved more of the show Vanderpump Rules. It's that we couldn't get enough of the scandal, and so they knew we would watch.
We wanted to see the situation, which was smart. I have been saying cancel the show, but I will tune in for whether we have this podcast or not. I'd be watching season 11 because I need to just see the fallout because that's what I'm interested in. That being said, you can't do more than one season on situations
because you tagging this to situations the situation ends then. So then what reignites the interest? Like
that's the problem.
The couple's breaking up, that has died off. Like there's nothing more to tell on that. And now this season is tied to like Ariana and Sandoval's breakup, but that will die off. So yeah, where is season 11 going to be at?
So I'm not saying that like all these people are bad reality TV stars because I don't think they are, but I also don't think they're willing to like ruin their relationships for drama like Jax and Kristen definitely were.
Yeah.
However, I think Katie has great one-liners. I think she's a star on her own, but I think the podcast world is where she's going to thrive because it's about her opinion, and I think that's where she thrives. I think Ariana, again, has never carried the show, and I think the only reason she is now is because she has a giant situation. I think James is reality TV gold, but without him drinking, there's really no drama that surrounds him. Allie, no offense, is basically furniture in a reality TV world.
Yes.
Schwartz is too big a moron. Sandoval, the audience does not relate to. He could carry a show, I think, but because the audience doesn't like him, like they wanted us to like him, he can't. And Lala's same thing. And
comeback of Sandoval like Jax had. Like Jax kind of groveled and like didn't perpetuate the problem like Sandoval has for an entire season.
A little bit. He left. We missed him. We had time to miss him.
And we didn't have the off season blowing up of social media when it came to Jax. Like we hate Jax on the shows, but like we will continue to watch him.
Hate Jax. Yeah. I think the other thing was the producers kind of knew this. And who's on this cast going to hold the show? It's going to be Sandoval and it's going to be Lala. So they really tried to make us be like, this is the audience. This is who we're rooting for. This is like, Lala's the audience. She's the main character. She's the narrator, as you said. It didn't fucking work. So I think they're like, fuck, if we don't have Ariana coming back or James, that's who the audience fucking loves.
Yeah.
We're team Ariana, and James is the only man anyone can stomach on this show. So, like, without them, because they have other shit going on.
Well, I think another layer that, like, made it even worse is that coming out of the reunion, them taping this reunion, and the weeks that have followed since, we don't even believe in any of the girl friendships either. Like, I don't believe that Sheena is a good friend to Ariana and Ariana wants to be her friend right now. I don't think Lala is a good friend to Katie and Ariana. Like, there are clearly two sides, and even the girls don't have anything. So, like, the dynamic as a whole in this, like, friend group, we'll call it, is so shattered.
It's not working. It's not worth it. And truthfully, I would watch, like, a special of something about her opening because those are the two people I care about. I don't care about Lala. I don't care about Sheena. This season has really just cemented that. They're, to me, the villains, and I'm not going to watch a TV show of only villains.
I agree. Like, if Ariana and Katie are not on this, I I would not watch.
It's not for me. And James, on top of that, like, that's our wolf pack. That's who we fucking want. And if you're not gonna give us that, then I think Bravo knows, like, this is shot. The James and Lala or James and Ariana are their two biggest stars on the show. And can I also say, in my opinion, a reality TV show is to me a stepping stone into like what else you want to do. Right? So like that's why when housewives leave, I think it's really good for them to like do other shit. And why I think Kyle Richards is really tired on my TV screen at this point.
Well, there's only so much you can give.
Yeah, but I think it shows a lot when it's like, I've been on this reality TV show for so long and it's the only thing I have going. Like Katie has a podcast that's thriving on a Nick Viall podcast network. Ariana's hosting Love Island. James has a residency. Sure, Lala and Sheena also have their podcast, but their main thing, what do they talk about, is this show.
Yeah.
Katie doesn't really talk about this show that much.
No.
Unless like it's whatever. Schwartz has, what does he do?
He has the bar, and they have like he has 2 bars, and he has like a whiskey.
Yeah, something like that. Right, but like him, Sandoval, so here's what I think is going to happen. I think Sheena, Lala, Brock, Schwartz, possibly James are going to end up on the Valley. But even James, I don't think would go there.
Yeah, but I find that really hard because who are you going to remove from the Valley? You can't have 40 people on a show. I think James, Katie, and Ariana are done and did not want to even play ball to discuss when they would film it.
Also, do you think it's that they saw the way this was edited and they were like, fuck you guys, we're not coming back?
Like, this isn't my whole world. I don't need this.
Well, if I was Ariana, I'd be like, you guys are literally giving Sandoval such a platform. I'm not re-signing.
That's the thing. There are no contracts signed, or they would have said, hey, we're not filming this summer. We're picking up cameras in September, October, November.
Yeah.
Like, we have heard
signing.
I remember Beverly Hills, like, after Kathy's season, they were like, hey, we need some time. And so, like, we're going to do a delayed, we're not going into the normal filming schedule. And they, instead of like 3 months, took 5 months off. But we all knew that.
Yeah. I think by saying it's on pause, they're really deciding if this is going to work for a 12th season. And if you don't have, I'm telling you right now, Bravo, if anyone in the world listens to this, if you don't have Ariana, Katie, and James returning with a Bravo of an edit, like a perfect edit, it's not going to work.
I don't think. And
even then it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. You don't have a situation.
Them even coming back will not solve it.
We're not going to watch another thing of Sandoval. Or Scandival. Like, it's not
hard because I hate Sandoval. I don't want to watch any more of him. But like you said, like, he is the only star, I'll call it.
Yeah, he can hold the show.
Who do we have and what are we doing? Because Lala's gone on a lot being like, I was so concerned when Ariana had to carry the show. Lala, what the fuck did you bring to the table this season?
Look, no one carried this show. No. It was the situation that carried it.
It is like a dead body floating in the water. Like, it just naturally is buoyant.
Yeah, I think it's great TV. Like, don't get me wrong.
I would not call this great 10, TV.
Oh, I like this season. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun this season watching this.
I'm not enjoying this. If we were not doing this podcast, I would have not watched this, and I probably would have like binged it in 3 months.
Oh, I would have watched it live. I got to know.
I would have gotten too angry. Sometimes I'm like...
yeah, but I think that's what...
Okay, but you would not be sitting down every week, like being like, wow, I can't wait to watch it right now. You would be like, oh, I'll catch up on a few episodes.
No, I'd probably watch it weekly.
I'm so enraged. It's sometimes very hard for me to want to watch the show.
I would want to keep up with the social aspect around the show.
Comments that everybody else is giving.
I think that's really beautiful is when
I do like
all were together for Scandival. That was a really beautiful moment.
That's true.
For me. Which is why I think I would stick with it. And I want to see the fallout. I get why people are watching this. I get it. I'm there with you. I would do that too. However, you don't have a star. You don't have a good cast. Kristen have proved they're good TV because they carried this show. They dropped off for a little bit. We miss them so much. We brought them into a new show where they again are carrying the show.
That's the thing. I'm loving the Valley. Maybe the juxtaposition of the two is like reminding me what I don't have.
I think it's the star power of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I also think Ariana, Katie, and James have outgrown the show. I think they're better than that. I think they're better. Truthfully, I think they're better than Bravo at this point.
Yeah.
I do.
I think they will live past Bravo, those three.
It's like a Stassi. Like, you're better than Bravo at this point. Don't come back.
That's a good comparison. Like, they're in Stassi's category.
But also, why? It's funny because, like, why do Jax, Brittany, and Kristen come back to the show? Because they have nothing else going on.
They
right? Like,
this is all they have.
Bravo is trash. That's why we watch the show.
Absolutely.
When you have nothing else going on, this is what you sign up for. Like, it's just,
they're golden
why
handcuffs.
Do you think Kyle Richards has been on our TV screen for so long? She's literally nothing else happening.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I think it's smart. I think it needs to be canceled. I think we should end here on this season. I don't think it would have been right to end at season 10, that reunion. We just needed closure. This is our closure. We're done at season 11.
Your prediction is they're not coming back.
My hope is they don't come back. Bravo is so stupid. I feel like they will try to push something.
This is becoming like the Grey's Anatomy of reality TV.
Yeah.
Like, just known to call it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, in a way, I'm happy we didn't cancel it before, or else we wouldn't have gotten the scan of all of it all on here. We would have just had to read the tabloids. So this was fabulous.
Yes.
But I think everything happens for a reason. This is our closure, and we're done. Let's be done with it.
Let's be done.
Let's be done.
And if anything, I don't want Lala to have her pregnancy.
I want her to have literally nothing. That's mean. She can have her Amazon Live.
What, is she going to have the baby on Amazon Live?
She could, at this rate. I want her to, like, sorry. I want her to see.
No, I'm saying if the show comes back for another season, I want it to start filming after she has that baby.
Just don't come back. I want Lala to see that. Yeah, Ariana didn't necessarily carry this show, but her situation fucking did, and it got you another, I don't know, year of checks. So you're welcome, bitch, you know?
Bow down, say thank you.
I saw Sandoval and Jax are going to be on Watch What Happens Live next week, so.
Here's my thing. If that is there's no way that is live. They are going to pre-record it like they did Ariana and Katie's. And the way you tell,
pre-recorded?
Yes, you can tell because they will put an actual live, like a live word in the top right corner. Oh. And if they're doing polls, it's live. That's another trigger. There's absolutely no way they are letting polls. Sandoval be live. Sometimes they record them because of just like scheduling error, like issues, like when Andy has to go out to LA to like film the Vanderpump, reunion.
Yeah.
That usually happens during the week. So they'll like pre-record his, or right before he goes on vacation or like a time off, they'll actually pre-record a bunch so we can have more days off. Yeah.
With the polls, you're right.
Yeah. The one I attended years ago was pre-recorded.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, should we do podcast by the people really quick before we end this?
Okay, cool. Because I know we're at like 2 hours.
Robin says, I'm relieved. I wanted the season Ariana wanted, aka the girls and James are the Spice Girls and the Toms suck, and we can finally see it. If that had been the season, I would be sad to see it go. But now knowing that Ariana is watching it and feeling lied to has been really hard to watch. And I'm also ready for Lala to be done going on podcasts and saying, now you'll see my side. Oh my God. Cut to me never seeing her side. Literally. Is she stupid?
Yes. I think she thinks she's like the center of this, and she's not.
And now she's crying on Amazon Live because all of us are so mean. Even though she was literally so mean to Ariana.
You literally unfollowed her to make your numbers match, and you're saying we're mean?
So weird. That is so weird. Anyway, Chrissy says, pre-watching. This is the only TV I watch. And I only make sure to watch it on Wednesday morning so I can chat here. Mm-hmm. But she does love the great times with James and the girls. She'll be sad when that ends. I agree. The Wolf Pack, I love them so much. Anyway, post-watching, Chrissy says, these last few episodes have been stretched thin. And the only new and exciting thing was having Daniel finally.
I know.
Sheena-ing with Sandoval. Tom's band still sucks. Schwartz is still dumb with agreeing to move in with Sandoval and sending mixed signals to Jo. Katie is still hot. I love the fact that Schwartz's proposition to Katie was to Netflix and chill without the sexual connotation. That's true. He was literally like, "Do you want a Netflix and
I know,
chill
but
for real?"
that's what their marriage was.
Chrissy says, "I kind of cannot wait for this to be over." Yeah, yeah. Tyranny says, "Happy May Day, everyone." And you know what that means? 21 days until something about her finally opens. It was confirmed on Watch What Happens Live by our boundary queens.
Our
That's right, they said
boundary
boundaries.
queens.
Also, I think we have 2 more episodes until the season is over, so it will be a total of 16.
What?
And then 3 reunions with possibly a secrets revealed. Oh my god.
I don't understand. I just feel like nothing's happening, and so I just don't get how they keep coming.
Did they say next time on the season finale?
I don't think they did, so I think you're right.
Oh, fuck.
Here
Anyway.
I was thinking it would be 14 little. Okay, Andy gave us the number though. So like that's where I counted off of. He said like 6 or 7 more, and whatever number we were at led to 14. So Andy doesn't know how to do math. It's not me.
Are you surprised? I'm just kidding.
No.
Tierney says LVP definitely tried to have Penny spy on Ariana and Katie since they didn't want LVP to be a part of something about her.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
I just think Penny could have thought she could have like weaseled her way in there because they were like new some money and needed her. Yeah. And it's like, nope, our boundary queens have got it.
Tierney says the Toms moving in together would literally be old men losers. On the after show, Jack said he might have to move back in also. So, of course, they started discussing all living together in that shitty apartment.
No.
The producers were joking with Dodie about 551 2.0. I chuckled. Was that the apartment number?
I guess so.
Ugh.
That would be insane if the 3 of them lived together. I would watch that.
They're all single bros again. That's disgusting. Who would date them? Would you date a man in his 40s with 2 roommates?
With such chaotic breakups as the 3 of them?
No. Okay, Ariana talking to Brock about how she's moving on was amazing. Shout out to the post team for immediately showing all 4 men yelling. Mm-hmm. Brock's face was like, what? We don't yell. Flashback to last week when Brock and Sandoval both yelling at Sheena.
My God.
Yeah, fuck the men. Seeing San Francisco just made me want to go back. As everyone knows, I love a cruise, but fuck that boat ride. I loved that boat ride. Okay. Tierney says, Katie said both on the after show and Watch What Happens Live that getting the junk food and scrolling was their way of being intimate and bonding. She also said on Watch What Happens Live that what we are seeing between them is what kept them together for so long. Also, Katie and Ariana were wearing matching shoes from Ariana's DSW collection. Yeah, Ariana doesn't need this fucking show.
I totally forgot about that, but I clocked that. Yeah. I loved it. It was so cute.
I know Ariana deserves the most. I also want Katie to get more brand deals and stuff too. Like, can Katie do a line or something too? I texted you this. I think Katie should do something with tequila.
Alcohol's so hard. Plus, people get really riled up about tequila and like white women doing it, like the Kendall Jenner thing.
You're right. But when she was listing what made her happy, I laughed at hot dogs. So I think she also should maybe do a hot dog thing.
I just need her to do like specialty tequila drinks at her bar or at her restaurant or like in Ariana's next cocktail book. I keep forgetting
Katie has a restaurant. I keep forgetting she has something going.
Well, it's because it's their B thing, not their A thing. Yeah. I know. The Toms.
I know. Okay. The conversation between Sheena and Sandoval at the end was surprisingly good. She cut him off for trying to give his buts. But whether she got through to him or not, we'll see. He, at the very least, acknowledged he weaponized Ariana's mental health. Meredith thinks that was a producer, so.
Yeah, I don't think he came up with that on his own.
Okay, Tierney says in the after show, Brock and James were discussing the trademark issue. Brock said he looked up the trademark on the website. I somehow doubt that, and I think he just saw all the content creators discussing it. What trademark? Did I miss something? That sounds so familiar.
That's the Penny situation I was talking about.
Oh.
I'm not sure. I haven't watched the after show yet, but
was Brock. We'll watch the after show, Tierney. I promise. I'm sorry. We're slacking and you're not, and we're the worst. be our after show watcher and just give us a rundown. Okay, Tierney says James in the bubble bath and on the boat was hilarious. He's just trying to have a good time no matter what, and I'm enjoying that side of him. I'm sure I forgot some things, but that's all I got for now. Accepted and blocked. Accepting Ariana, the conversation with Brock was great. She got to spend time with Dan, and also she and Katie were great on Watch What Happens Live. Agreed. Great duo. Blocking the post team for making me fucking hear Sandoval sing 2 weeks in a row. Let's touch in public, Tierney. Okay, and then Lindsay with an I says, like the conversation between Ariana and Brock, James in the tub made me laugh. Everything else was kind of exactly what I would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Sheena being nice to Sandoval, expected. Sandoval weird half crying, expected.
Ugh.
Lala judging Daniel, expected. Schwartz messing with Katie and Jo, expected. Yeah,
true. Check, check, check.
Beep boop boop.
Beep boop.
Check, check, beep.
Check, check.
Okay, that's all we have for this week. Thank you guys so much. Whether we have 1 episode or 7 left, sadly we'll be covering all of it.
Thanks for joining us on this ride.
Thank you so much for joining. Meredith, anything else before I give us our favorite James quote?
No, just come join me on TikTok. I'm having so much fun.
Meredith's having a blast. Okay, well, with that, forget what you heard and remember where you heard it first.
Thanks. Bye.